Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another video. So before I start this lesson, just a word of note, we're going to do something a little bit different in this video and it is optional. So bear that in mind. You may want to do this, you may not want to do it. It depends on what suits your particular project. So if you are unsure, I would suggest making a backup of the project that you can revert back to should you not like this feature. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the game up and just explain what the issue is. So as always, we'll just let this run through. And once we're in the match, I've still got the AI locked, so I'm going to move the playback. And as you can see, in fact, let me also come to the scene. I'm going to move the opponent back as well. So let's just move the opponent way back. And you can see the problem. The camera goes too far out. Now, this may not be a problem for you in your project. Maybe you have more confined arenas with natural walls that block the player and the opponent from moving back too far. But for those of you that don't, this is what we're going to begin to implement. So what's going to happen is the camera is going to move back, but only so far, and then the player will not be able to move any further back, neither will the opponent. So with that all said, let's come to the game manager script. And I'm just going to have a look. In fact, I'll put these at the bottom. Obviously, you can put them where you like. These are going to be of type public static. And the first one's going to be of type bool underscore camera at, let's say, max distance. Into the comments, finds if the camera has zoomed out to the max distance or not. We'll come to the next line. This is going to be of type public static as well. Yeah, I'll make this an int. Camera Z axis max distance, and I'm going to set that to equal -15. We'll close the line off. Now if you want to make this a float, that's fine. If you want like 5.5, just add the F on the end and change this to a float. But in this case, I think an int just works just fine, so let's use that. Defines the max z-axis distance for the camera. And again, as always, you'll probably want to experiment with this value. Let's save that all off. So let me just close all these. Don't know why these are all open. Let's just get rid of those. And then we'll come to the fight camera. And we're going to come to the bottom of the update camera position, and just above this if bracket we're going to define a new float underscore camera z-axis total, and we're going to set that to equal the camera z value, the camera value z-axis plus the z-axis modifier. Let's close that off. New float. In fact, I'll put defines new float and I'll just copy that new naming convention in to equal the camera value z-axis plus the modifier, and we already have this bit of code here in this block, but now we can just use this one float, and let's just copy that. And we're going to get rid of all that, and it can just be equal to that float. And let's put this in. Let's just put z-axis total. Let's just change it to that for now. So let's have a look. We also need to create another if block, and we're going to put camera z-axis total. It's less than or equal to minus, in fact not minus 15, we should use the game manager dot and the variable. Let's put this into the comment if z-axis total is less than or equal to the camera z-axis max distance value. What we're going to do is just make that equal to that variable, so just the same again, game manager dot z-axis max difference, and then we'll say then make, and I'll just copy that in, the variable for the total equal to the, and then I'll just copy in the other variable. So this if bracket prevents the camera coming too far forward. Now this one stops it going too far back. The modifier now and value are all rolled together into this new float. And we'll just create an if block, and we want the underscore fight camera dot transform dot position dot z is less than or equal to the game manager dot and we want the camera at z-axis at max distance. So let's have a look. Sorry, that should be the value. So z-axis at max distance, then we're going to make game manager equal to camera at max distance equals true. And in fact, let's just copy this one. And in this instance, we want it greater than. And we're going to set this to false. So now that bool is set to false, and I'm just going to create a couple of if blocks for, now these are for testing, and I'm just going to say that if the bool camera at max distance equals true, we'll print and I'll paste that in. And I'll just put true. We'll close that line off. Let's just copy that. We'll paste that in below. And we'll set it to false on both lines. Let's just save that off. We'll downsize that and we'll hit play. Now there is going to be another use for those bools, but for now we'll just use them for debugging. And we're just going to make sure that the camera is moving correctly now. So it's showing camera at max distance false as it should. Let's come to the main camera. Now when the z-axis here equals -15, we should get a new print log saying true. So we're nearly there, and we go over and as you can see it's now true. Let's move back, it's false, and as you can see, once it changes to true, the camera does not move back any further. We can, however, still move the player, and the opponent will still move if I remove that return line from the opponent AI. So let's stop that there. We'll leave it there for this lesson. We'll pick up on the code for the characters in the very next video. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope to see you next time. And as always, until then, bye for now.